When you think about what the possibilities of what might happen, if I hadn't have survived my heart attack, the impact to the family would just be, besides the death of the dad, the financial burden of having to move out and all the emotional trauma that goes along with that as well. You wouldn't know what their future would be. Having the correct insurance in place, you at least know that the future that you're currently planning for them can still take place. I was out training for, do a bit of running and cycling. I was training for the Gold Coast Half Marathon, and I was out at lunchtime at work doing a run, and I got a bit of chest pain. I just thought it was a bit of indigestion. But over the next couple of weeks, just walking to the train station and back again, the chest pain was just getting worse. I went to see my doctor, and she referred me immediately to a cardiologist. And then that afternoon I was checked into hospital.
The day that he was admitted into hospital, the nurses were laughing at him because he walked in with Otto on his hip. And like most people get stretchered into here or in a wheelchair.
And they did an angiogram, which is a wire up the femoral artery to check out how your heart is. They discovered a 100% blockage in one artery and a 80 to 90% blockage in another artery. 1
minute he was in a bed, and the next minute I was standing in this empty space with Otto on my hip, and just like, oh, he's gone. I thought, I'll just go and follow him. So I followed him out to the main corridor of the hospital and sort of feeling like a bit of a ninny, but just calling out to him, I love you, and watching him disappear. And I had this hour of, what am I going to do and who am I going to call?
It was really, really quite a surprise, because I was quite a fit person. I look after myself, I eat well, I don't smoke, I don't drink excessively. It took a while for it to actually sink in. I think it was, I woke up at 2 a.m. the night that I was in hospital and, just I think broke down. The nurses were wonderful, but it's just thinking about your family and the possibility of not seeing your kids grow up and all of those kind of things. It's really sort of hits home that it's not much fun. My financial advisor is David Baccinelli. I've had David as a financial advisor for about 5 years. One of the first things you think of is, how are we going to pay the mortgage and, pay the visa bills and all of those kind of things that are coming in the doors.
I hadn't even thought about trauma insurance, but I think men think differently, and he was thinking really practically.
We rang Dave to see if we were covered for our insurance for this kind of thing, so, and we were, which is good. So, at least it takes that pressure off. I'm a contractor, so I don't get paid if I don't work. If we didn't have the insurance, we probably would have had to have remortgaged the house, I think. David helped us submit our application. He came over to our house and helped us fill out the forms. He also told us all the information that we needed to gather to submit the application. I mean, I was lucky I survived my heart attack. If I had have died, it'd be terrible. I'd be leaving my wife and kids behind, but at least I'd know that they would have been looked after financially.
We didn't know whether we'd get anything, we didn't know how much we'd get, and what we got was fantastic.
I didn't ever think I'd actually have to use it. But it's great that it's in place. It's like wearing a seatbelt. You don't think that you're ever really going to have a car accident, but you don't drive around without a seatbelt on. So if you're married and you've got kids and you've got financial commitments, having the appropriate insurance in place is absolutely paramount. I've had David as my advisor for about 5 years now.
I had an opportunity where I could get some referrals through the internet, and Simon did some searching and come across, and I spoke to him on the phone and I said, look, to be honest with you, I think it's about getting together and let's get to meet each other. And you can decide whether you want to deal with me as a person, because I'm the one that's going to help you in the end if the need does come.
We talked to a couple of insurance brokers beforehand, and we really could relate to David, and he really could explain the reasons we need these kind of insurances in place.
And we met and we've actually clicked straight away, and we had a few appointments together, and Simon then decided with Joanne that, look, we see the value in what you've put forward and we're pleased to go ahead with with some insurance because we think it's important. When I first received that call from Joanne, it was Easter Thursday and I'd pretty well switched off, but yeah, I like to keep the phone handy. And of course it was Joanne, but she was very flat. And she said, look, we're in the hospital and Simon had a very serious heart attack. What should we do? So it's just like jumping to attention.
One of the first things you think of is, how are we going to pay the mortgage and, pay the visa bills and all of those kind of things that are coming in the door. So we rung Dave to see if we were covered for our insurance for this kind of thing. So, and we were, which is good. So, at least it takes that pressure off.
My role at that point is, I like to keep things pretty low-key. And certainly, I don't jump in there with numbers and claims and all the rest of it. I just say, look, let's just now take the steps. So yeah, we need some information because there may be a chance to have a claim here. I have relationships with claims people, so I can ring a claims specialist in one part and know most of them by name and say, look, I've got a situation here. My client's just suffered a heart attack. Tell me, what do I need to see where we are in respect to making a claim with this policy.
It was reassuring, it felt reassuring to have somebody doing that for you, that I didn't have to work my way through the maze of forms and which boxes to tick and what to write where and those kind of things.
You've got more important things to worry about when you're in hospital, and that's getting better. Payday is a great day. Everybody loves it. I think I was probably more excited than Simon. And I said, we've got this cheque.
Yes, Dave turned up with a cheque. I was hoping it might have been a big novelty cheque, but just a little cheque. Big amount, but a little cheque.
And what a moment to actually hold that cheque and know that it's real.
We were getting the money that we required when we needed it, and it was also nice for Dave, I think, in seeing his advice and help coming through and actually helping us. It was great.
To me, life insurance is a no-brainer because it's quite simple. You just don't know what's around the corner. Insurance is like that. The guy that's getting buzzed home in an ambulance or buzzed to the hospital now in an ambulance didn't wake up this morning knowing that he was going to be in an ambulance. So it's just common sense to have something in place.
I mean, I was lucky I survived my heart attack. If I had have died, it'd be terrible. I'd be leaving my wife and kids behind, but at least I'd know that they would have been looked after financially.
What we do is a good thing for people. It's not about fees and commissions, it's about service.